Hey everybody, it's your friend ECW fan, and welcome to a early spring comics and games update. This is going to be a unique one because I've put both together in this because it's a pretty decent update. I've got some good comics that I got with two key back issues that I've managed to find one at a Walmart, thankfully. I was happy to find it. And games wise, I got like 12 or 13 games over the spring, and a bunch came from a pawn shop, by the way, because the guy was clearing out their PlayStation 3 games, and he said, just pick you out a bunch. He said, he said, we got to get rid of them because the new systems are coming in. So, to get with the comics, to start it off, if anyone doesn't know, Ollie's, the bargain outlet store, I think we all have an Ollie's around. I'm pretty sure in the South, it's pretty rampant. We have a lot of Ollie's, and you've seen me film there. Ollie's has gotten comics in, and DC and Marvel actually put them together in these packs. Like there's 5 or 6 comics Ollie's will pack together, and they're pretty good. They had the comic packs, and there was one issue on Comic Tom's channel that he had a top 10 list, and there was an issue that I thought I had, and I was sitting there scrolling through it, and I was like, I don't have this, and I was like, I gotta get this. Why didn't I get this issue of Batman? And you'll see it. It just surprised me because usually I'm a big collector of Batman, as Eddie will tell you. But to start it off, in the packs you don't know what's there. You're going to get some filler stuff that you really don't want, but this key issue was on this one part that I really needed. So I'm going to go ahead and show this off. One of the first issues I got, and I've already got a copy of this, is Thor 429, with him facing the Juggernaut. Decent, good issue. I've already got it. I think this is a good classic Tom DeFalco type issue with him fighting the Juggernaut. Classic Thor. Hey, we might see that soon. I mean, in the film universe, I know they got the X-Men back, so maybe we could see, Thor versus Juggernaut eventually. Now, here was one in the 2000s that I liked, and I had dropped this book after like 40 or 50 issues. It's Exiles, and this is the World Tour. This is part of their new universe. I'm shocked I never picked this up after so long, but I had like 40 or 50 issues of this Exile series. It's like Sliders and then traveling to different Marvel Earths. Another one I picked up was Generation X32. That was part of the pack. Not a key fun issue, but it looks kind of fun for the Circus of Crime facing the Generation X cast. That's pretty decent. I mean, 2 of them I'll read for sure, Now, here's one I picked up, and it surprised me that this would be in it. Impulse 31. Now, I have the first 27 issues of Impulse by Mark Waid. It was really a good story of a young Bart Allen learning how to adjust being a teenage kid in a small town, raised by Max Mercury. Sadly, we'll never get that again, We'll never get that type of storytelling type thing, but yeah, it was nice to see Impulse and Bart Allen. This takes me back. This issue is going on 23 years old now. That was the parts of the pack. Now the end issue is why I picked it up. You'll see at the end. Okay, guys, this is going to be really weird, but due to an editing issue, my camera phone really went weird, and my audio was not synced up with my voice. It was like I was talking, and it just like different type deal, and I had to really cut the last part of the video out. There was like 10 minutes of video left, and I had to cut it off. So it's been a few days. I'm back. Let's go ahead and do some more of this. Comic book wise, I got Amazing Spider-Man 32 from the comic shop. I think this was $1, and I love the cover. Once a Goblin. I got Avengers number 9 of the latest series by Jason Aaron. And I've heard this was a really good run. This gives me the first 10 or 11 issues he did leading up to 700. And I love the legacy numbering. They're keeping the legacy numbering in a way, I guess, to celebrate special anniversary issues like they did to 700. Now this is one Eddie was wanting, and he asked me if he had another copy, and he didn't. I found it in a box, like I said, for like $1 or $2, and at the shop. He was getting rid of the old issues. This is Justice League number 8 from the 2018 series, and this is the Batman Who Laughs joining the Legion of Doom. This is a really good issue. I read it, and I love that Joker and the Batman Who Laughs has a little meeting, and it's really nice how they do that. On the back is the ad for Supergirl. I really like Supergirl, the 84 movie. I don't know, I know it has its faults, but I really liked Helen Slater as Supergirl. I know it came along right when the Salkins and was really running low on the Superman movies, and this is right before Superman 4, The Quest for Peace. So, yeah. Getting to another issue that we found at Tom's shop in Beckley was the Superior Spider-Man 31. I have the first and I think number 8 and 30 and 31 of this run. And this was the end of Goblin Nation. This was the series finale. Peter had returned and taken over his body from Doc Ock. And I've always heard good things about this whole run, and I really should have picked it up, but at the time, having a comics budget and then putting out 2 issues a month and sometimes 3, it was really just hard to get caught up with. Even now, I'll just sit there and like, man, Marvel, slow it down. You don't have to put every issue out. Even DC has come up with that, but I think they're starting to slack down to once a month now. Now, 2 issues that I got from Tom's shop, and I really was happy to find them, was Hellblazer 147 and 148, part of the Hard Times arc. This is by Brian Azzarello. I just call him Brian Az, because I can't pronounce his last name that good. This was really nice. This is when Constantine comes to America, and during Brian Az's run, he had him come to America during a whole tour. He went like to the South and to prison, as this arc shows, and it's really good. It's a really good arc, and he finally, I think, brings him back. I think they kick him out of the country at the end. Now, this is one by Garth Ennis I've been looking for a long time, and it's been a long time since I could find this one. This was Hellblazer number 82, and this was the part of his final run, and this was him and Kit Ryan. Constantine's one true love, as they always put it as. He always wanted her, and he finally got with her, but he realized his life was too much danger for her, and she would always be threatened by it. So he finally let her go. And now moving on, we have this one I got from Walmart. I found it finally, and this is becoming a hot key one. It is Crisis on Infinite Earths number 2. I have number 1. I found it when it first came out, but I found this one hidden behind a couple magazine or issues. So, to the victor goes the spoils, as they say. This was a nice 100-pager. I love these by Walmart. I've got the Villains one. I've got the first Crisis. I've got a couple of the Batman and a couple of the Superman ones. These are really nice. And they're really... I can see why, DC puts them out for Walmart, to see if they can get people shopping, kids along the way. And it's nice to see that in a supermarket near the registers again. And finally, the last issue I got from that collector's pack that I talked about at the start of the video, days earlier, is Batman the Return, number 1. This is becoming a hot book for the fact that the Guardian just returned. He is the character that Damian Wayne, I think it's his clone. This is his origin or first appearance one. I think this is his origin. And they bring up how he was made. I remember seeing this on Comic Tom's video, and I was like, I think I had that issue. And then I looked, and I realized I didn't. So, from way back in 2009, this is like in the fall of 2009, this originally was a $5 book, but the pack itself was $5 or $6. So, hey, I come out ahead on that one at least. But that's the comics. Nothing huge, nothing major. Nice little spring haul to get for now. Now let's get to the games. Okay. Now, games and movies wise. Now, I'm going to start with the movies first to get them out of the way because I got like 3 or 4 movies, and Eddie was with me for a couple of these and he recommended them. And he found me one that he's like, dude, you have to pick it up. It's a special producer's cut. You need to get it. Well, I got this one that'll surprise Eddie because I found it in a Goodwill for $1. And Goodwill has some good movies at times. They also have some games rarely that you'll find. But movie-wise, I found The Three Stooges. I don't know how good this will be. I've always been particular about the Stooges. I think they work best in a era of the 30s and 40s. To me, that's always been their era. Yeah, because my favorite episode is the ice delivery. I think if you're a Stooges fan, where they have to run this block of ice out of a horse-drawn cart up a staircase, and a woman yells to him, or a man, I think it was a woman. So Moe and Larry and Curly keep running this ice block up and down, and it melts each time by the time it gets to the top of the steps. And it's really good for that. I mean, it's really funny to see them keep running this block of ice up and down. They're trying their best to get up there, and finally they just give up. The people just give up. But I'll reserve judgment to see how this new movie is with Will Sasso and company. Now, this is one I ain't seen in years. This has The Last Dragon. Barry Gordy's The Last Dragon with Sho'nuff. This was really cool. I remember watching this on HBO and back in the day, and this was really cool. But yeah, the last of his kind, the best of the best. Sho'nuff. Yeah. Eddie found this one. He says, "Dude, you've seen it, ain't you?" I was like, "Yeah, it's been years." And he's like, "Dude, for the price that they're selling these for, you need to pick it up." So I went ahead and got it. Disc is in great shape. We always check discs. Now, this is one I found myself, and I decided to pick it up because it's got 2 movies in one, and they had a special sale on Blu-rays. This was Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers, and Halloween H2O, 20 years later. Well, The Curse stars Paul Rudd and them, and a couple years later, they decided to reboot the franchise for the first time with H2O. None of the other movies happened after Halloween 2. H2O was the first big reboot. And Jamie Lee Curtis come back, and she redone it. It was really cool. I always liked H2O for that. And it's from 1998. Well, it's really weird that 20 years later, Jamie Lee Curtis would come back for Halloween, basically Halloween 40, and reboot the series again. And this time, nothing happened after Halloween, the first one. But this one was really nice. This one was really cool. And so after I got these, Eddie said, "Hey, dude, I found something you need to get. You have The Curse of the Michael Myers, but you don't have the producer's cut, the unrated producer's cut. And this one is like a whole new movie from what Eddie told me. Plus, it's a little bit rare because they don't hardly, didn't hardly sell it outside of a special collector's set. So I picked it up. So I got 2 cuts of The Curse of Michael Myers, 2 different cuts. Now let's get to the games. I got about 3 or 4 games from a pawn shop, and the guy sold me like 4 games for like $10 or $12, I think it was. It's been a while. So anyhow, a couple of the games I actually found at a GameStop, and it was pretty good. And a couple I found at a flea market. That's, just is really good around this time of year to find some at a flea market. So I'm going to go ahead and run some off here that I got. One of these I got from a GameStop. It was like a buy 2, get a third one free. It was Jack and Dexter, the HD collection. And the guy told me, he said, "I know I picked up God of War in the collection, and there was 5 games in that collection. And of the 5 games, 2 of them was on a downloaded only thing. It was the PSP games, and they done been used. So he let me come back in and trade it in for the Jack and Dexter collection with all 3 games. Another game I got as part of the buy 2, trying to find it. Oh, you buy 2 get 3 free, 1 free, was Twisted Metal, the 2012-2013 Twisted Metal game for the PlayStation 3. And this used to be a yearly thing. They used to put out a lot of Twisted Metal games. And Sony, would put out a lot of them with Sweet Tooth. And I remember playing Twisted Metal Black for the PS2 with Mark and them. So I'm going to go ahead and pick this one up. I was like, I'm going to go ahead and get it. I mean, I ain't played Twisted Metal in a long time, so it's going to be kind of fun to play and smash into cars. The third free game is actually in the other section, the PlayStation 4 ones. I actually picked this one up from GameStop. It was actually, as you see, it was cheap. It was a Darksiders. And I have all 3 Darksiders games now, which is kind of cool. So, this was a nice little cheap game to pick up while I was out one day. I found this one at a flea market. It is Tales of Graces. The first, I've got all the Tales games. And the guy didn't have the case. I was really wanting the game case. And I was looking for the game case, and I kept looking, and I was like, I think it was pretty good for $5. And I was really kicking myself. I was like, man, I wish he would have had the game case. I'll find it eventually. I'll ask Daryl if he ever gets the game case art in, if he'll hold it for me. And he will. He's always been good like that. Now, of the 2 games I got at the pawn shop, one of them was Transformers Devastation. Crush Some Metal. I think this was a pretty good bargain to get this game. I've seen this game marked up to $13, $15, $20 at places in GameStop, and I was like, I'd like to find it cheap. So finding this one for basically $2 or $3 was really a good deal. Another one I picked up from there was Lord of the Rings, Aragorn's Quest. I have no clue what this one is about. I know it shows Aragorn. I wonder if it has his voice. I wonder if it has Viggo. I think it's Viggo Mortensen. I believe it's his voice. I wonder if it'll have his voice in it. The Lego games does. The Lego games got their voice in it. So I picked this one up. But I'm going to go ahead and move on to the PlayStation 4 games now. Okay, moving on to the PlayStation 4 games, I actually found this one in a GameStop. This one was kind of cool to pick up, because I'd seen this one last year, or the year before last, when it first came out. It was Mega Man 11. It's the 30th anniversary of Mega Man, and I have Mighty Number 9, and I have the Mega Man collection, which I haven't played yet. So I was like, go ahead and pick up Mega Man 11. It looks kind of unique and cool. So I did. Plus I like that game art case. I do really like that art with Mega Man. Let's see. This one actually came from a flea market. And it actually had the wrap on it, which really surprised me. I opened up the wrap to make sure the game was in there. So, this was kind of cool. This is The Evil Within 2. I have no clue if they played it, but I don't know why this game was so cheap. I tried to find the first game, and they didn't. They had it marked up like $12 or $13. I got this one for like $5 at the flea market. And they actually had the same price on this. So it shocked me that somebody must have got it home, didn't like it, and decided, take it to the flea market and sell it. I've got Dishonored 2 from the flea market. This was a nice little buy. Dishonored 2. Yes. Take back what's yours. I have the first Dishonored for the PlayStation 3. I ain't played it yet. I've got to play these 2 games. Now, this was part of the buy 2 get a third one free deal. I got the Dark Pictures anthology, Man of Median. This was part of that. So I remember picking this one up. I was like, man, I've been looking for it for the longest time. Every time I go to find it, it's either marked up or I can't, I don't want to spend I think $20 some. Walmart wanted for at one time, and I was like, that's too much. But GameStop had it used on sale, so I went ahead and done that deal. Now these two, the next two, came from that pawn shop I told you about. This is the Book of Unwritten Tales. I've never played this one. I've seen it in a GameStop, but I never picked it up. So I was like, for like $2 or $3, give it a shot. Give it a play. See if it's really worth it. Never played it before. And this one is one that I didn't realize you have to use your mobile phone. So hopefully my phone will actually work on this. It is The Hidden Agenda. It's from the makers of the award-winning Until Dawn. So hopefully it works with it. I've never seen this game before. It's like one of those adventure games, like Until Dawn. So hopefully this works for me. And the final game I actually got it from a GameStop. And because I love the Lego games. I love collecting them and getting them and playing them. Because they're really nice and fun to play for a long time. And you can just sit there and just relax. And just laugh at some of the goofiness in the games. It is the Lego Movie, the video game 2. And I've got the first one on PlayStation 3. This one is the Save Your Friends and Rebuild Your World. This is kind of nice. But like I said, this was my little comics and games haul for the spring. I'm trying to relax on what I pick up. If I see something cool at a flea market or cheap at a GameStop, I'll pick it up. But games-wise, comics, I've tried to pick up what I can here and there. I'll probably, try to find something if I go to a store or something soon, good back issue-wise. But overall, I do want to thank you for watching and supporting the channel. If you like what you see, hit the like button, drop a comment. But thanks for watching, and just keep on reading and playing, folks.